This is A. Wesley. That ain't even tells it like a TI is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. Topic I'm going to talk to you today about is Belle Collective Reunion Part 1. Reunion Part 1. Reunion Part 1. It started off with Carlos going to all of the castmates' um, dressing room to see how they were going to feel about the reunion. First, I think he started off with if I'm not mistaken, first he started off with Latrice, and he asked Latrice how she was doing, and she said she was doing okay. And he says, "Is there any cast member that that you really don't want to deal with, or you really?" She said, "Well, Marie Monroe is the one that I really don't want to that I really would less want to see." He said, "Okay," and the next thing you know, I think he went to SoGucci, and SoGucci was saying that she was okay, but she was kind of excited and a little bit nervous. He said, "Okay." He said, "What about you, JJ?" JJ said he was gonna be all right. Then next thing you know, he went to Aikishia. And he said, "How you doing, Aikishia? This is your first reunion." She said, "I'm doing good. I'm feeling well," and stuff like that. He said, "Well, I want you and your husband to Obama and Michelle." And she said, "We're gonna do it. I'll take that. I'll take that." And then the last person he went to well, he went to Glenn. Well, he went to Glenn, and he asked Glenn. He said, "Glenn, how do you feel about being at this reunion and y'all in separate dressing rooms? You know, the first reunion," he said, "Oh, I feel alone. I feel alone." He said, "Well, it is kind of echo in this room." He said, "Yeah, I know." And then he switched over to seeing Aikishia, I mean not Aikishia, Letitia, and he asked Letitia. He said, "Letitia, how do you feel?" She said, "It just took me a whole lot of it took a whole lot out of me. It took a whole lot out of me. It took a whole lot out of me. But you know, I'm a fighter, and I had to fight everything just to be here today." He said, "Well, it's gonna be all right." He said, "Well, you know, you and Glenn asked me to do the big reveal. Are you gonna you accepted that?" She said, "Yeah." And he said, "I'm so glad that you trusted me and to do the big reveal." And then the next thing you know, they were all on set, and they were all talking. And then uh, uh, Carlos King asked the newbies how did they feel about being on the show, because he had said that he had ran a fan question. He was saying the fan question said that one of the newbies was was funny and entertaining, and the other newbie was very shady, and the other one was fun, and she knew how to give one liners, and the other one was just shady. And so, Aikishia said, "Well, I take a, I mean, not Aikishia, yeah, Aikishia say, I'll take the little shadiness. I'm not really shady, but I just tell it like it is." And Carlos said, "Yeah, you are one that tell it like it is." And then Keisha said that the reason why she joined the show because Jackson, Mississippi is her hometown, and she got a lot of family roots there, and that's why she came back to Jackson, Mississippi. So we asked SoGucci. So Gucci was saying, well, she thought she could bring something new and improve to the show and stuff like that. So that's why she came, because she came to spice up the show. Carlos King said, "Well, I heard that some of the ladies didn't want Aikishia to come on the show." And then he said, "Is that right, ladies?" And then everybody looked kind of funny. And then Letitia spoke up and said, "Well, you know, me and Marie, we had a phone conversation with Aikishia, and it sounded pretty good. And I told Marie that we need to add this woman. And then we all talked to Tamara. You know, we was out in the group chat. And then Tamara said that she didn't think that Aikishia would be a good fit." And then so Tamara said, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. She said, yes, you did say that. You did say that. And Carlos said, well, Lakeshia, is Tambria lying? And then it switched to commercial when it came back. She said, well, I didn't say that. And then she said I said over the phone that she was kind of shady with what she said. And then he said, well, Keisha, was you really kind of shady? She said, well, from the pictures y'all sent me, I was looking at the girls and I was saying, you know, like I said, I'm gonna say my mind. To me, the girls didn't look that good. They looked kind of ugly. That's why if I said it, I might have said it. If I said it, I'm sorry, but if you're ugly, you're just ugly. And I was saying, Aikishia, without makeup, you just plain. So how can you talk about somebody else? Lakeshia said, no, Tamara's not lying, but Tamara say things and then she pretend like she don't remember saying them. She said, well, I probably said the shady part, but all the other stuff, she said, no, you said other stuff. And then me and Marie decided to override you. And then Carlos said, oh, so you two overrid Tambria? She said, yeah, we did, because the way Tambria was acting and stuff like that. And then so Carlos chimed in. He said, well, what it is, I think Aikishia's right. Aikisha's just a person who tell it like it is, and that's just that. That's not really shade. And he was saying, well, they both added something. They both added something to the show. And then he went to the next thing, and then he said, Latrice, you and Marie made up. Y'all made up on the show and stuff, and everybody liked your friendship and stuff. He said, but what happened? After the show, y'all got into it again, and y'all was on Twitter going back and forth and stuff. And Marie, you said that you gave Latrice a storyline for the first 2 seasons. She said, I did. She said Latrice didn't have a storyline. Latrice said, you've been separated and divorced from Walt, whatever his name, Walter or Henry, for 2 years. And she said that was 2018, 2019. She said, but I got my own storyline. I didn't need you for no storyline. And then Carlos said, well, how it came about that you found out about Latrice? She said, well, we was finna have a big event. And what it was, I needed some hair. I needed some hair for the big event. I didn't know where to get the hair from. So I talked to Letitia, and Letitia told me about Latrice had a wig store, a wig shop called Goddess Link, and that's how I did it. And then she said, well, the hair that I got from the store was not the hair that was delivered to me, and that's what that's what I said at the event. But then before the event taped, Latrice told me that if I come for you, don't take it personally. It's just for the show. And then I said, ooh, this girl needs a storyline. This girl needs a storyline. So that's when I talked about her hair and how, you know, how sometimes you can get a bad bundle of hair, but then that hair was not the hair that I bought. So that's why I brought it up. And Latrice said, well, I didn't know nothing about Marie, and Marie said she didn't know nothing about me, but my hair, but I stand by my product. My hair was good. My hair was good. She said, well, maybe I didn't get a good bundle that day. And she said, well, what happened? She said, well, when Latrice started talking about the fraud stuff, and then they showed flashbacks of what she was talking about. Latrice was trying to say she did medical fraud, and so she was saying no. Latrice said no, I didn't need no storyline. She said I even sent you I even showed you the paper, sent you the email. Somebody sent me that stuff, and I thought you should know about it. And she was saying, yeah, Gucci know about it too, because you was for the show the paper that SoGucci billboard thing. So Gucci said, what? Y'all was looking at my billboard thing like that? And so Gucci said, I don't know what she's talking about. She said, if she did show any papers around to the cast, I must have been doing something else someplace else. I don't know what Marie talking about. And Marie said, and then Keisha said, no, I didn't think it was the right time to show it, to show it at the event. So that's why I gave the papers to Marie personally. And Marie said, when you was trying to, she said, no, I didn't try to do it. And then they showed a flashback where she was talking to Essie. and she told Essie that she told the person that she didn't care that if she did something to Marie, just don't do it. Just don't do it to Tisha, which she meant Letitia. And then Carlos say, Letitia, you in the middle of this. How do you feel about this? And she said, I love both of them. I love both of them. And I hate to see both of them doing like this. And then he said, Aikishia, how do you feel about it? She said, it's just so much passion, so much drama going about it. She said, I be telling the girls all the time that they need to squash this and get on. They need to squash this stuff and get on. And then Lakeisha say, that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to say. Let me pause this video and I'll get some water right quick. Okay, and then the next scene was Carlos told Lakeisha. He said, Lakeisha, at the end of the show, you and Glenn had made up and you had moved back together. But then at the end of the show, you said Glenn was still talking to people and texting people. What happened? What happened? She said, what happened? What it was, girls was still texting him, telling him how hot and sexy he looking at, and if I couldn't give him what he want, they would. And she said he was responding back, but she said it all started. He said, well, how did you find out? She said, well, it all started when his Instagram was closed down and something was wrong with him. He asked me to open up his Instagram again. She said, when I opened up his Instagram, I seen all of those text messages and all those messages in his DM and stuff like that. And she said, I told him that was wrong. Everybody on the panel was looking all funny and stuff like that. And she was saying, that really hurt me. And then so Carlos said, Glenn, can't you see she hurt and she crying? And then he said, he told the other ladies, well, how do you feel about it? And then Aikishia said, even though me and Latrice had got into it, earlier in the season, and we weren't getting along. She said, by me being as a woman, I felt sorry. I felt sorry for Aikishia. I wouldn't want no woman to go through that, no matter what little problems we had. And so Carlos went back and said, what else is going on? And she said, yeah, and he was responding back. And Carlos said, well, you were sexing other women behind our back. Carlos, I would say it was sexing. I would say we had conversations. He said it's sexing. He said anything you Carlos said, well, I heard it's about some woman sending some pictures. She said, yeah, it was one woman. She sent Glenn some pictures of her breast, and Glenn was laughing and kicking and going all crazy, and that kind of hurt me. That really hurt me. I wondered why he was doing that. He got on the thing, JJ looking all funny, he was laughing. But they was a size H. Everybody got busting out laughing, and except for Willie and Cliff had his head down. I guess it's funny that the JJ, he laughed at first, then he got kind of quiet when Gucci gave him that look, and then Carlos said, no matter what alphabet it is, you was wrong for that. He said you disrespected your wife. He said, Glenn, I was rooting for you along with the fans, but you make it hard for us to believe that you really want Aikishia back. I do want Lakeshia back. I meant to say Lakeisha. I do want Lakeshia back. I'm doing the best I can. I'm working hard. Y'all can't judge me on that. Carlos said, don't seem like you working hard with the stuff that you doing. He said, but I will say this. He said, just because a man make one mistake, that don't mean he's a bad person. I know that's what I say I'm trying to do. He said, but it seem like you keep on doing the same stuff over and over. And he said, I'm glad that you and Lakeisha decided to take me up on my offer and about the DNA test with you and this other woman. And Lakeisha said, yeah, I've been wanting to do this for years to find out if the baby is really Glenn's or not. And then Carlos said, well, if the baby is yours, Glenn, what you gonna do? Glenn said, well, if the baby is mine, if the child is mine, if the kid is mine, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to step up and take care of it and stuff like that. But then they'll let me know what I have to do for changing in my life. He said, well, we got the results of the DNA test. Would you like to find out what the results? And then it paused. Then at the bottom it said we could be continuing. That was the end of the show. But I'm sorry, Lakeshia, you need to go ahead and let Glenn go. You've been doing this for 17 years, and he's still been doing the stuff off and on, off and on. I guess she's just so mad in love with him, or maybe I don't know what's going on. But this is A. Wesley. That ain't even tested like a TI is. I am out. I'll do a Union Part 2 on another day. I'm back. One more thing I forgot to say. Right before the I think it was the Friday of Reunion 1, where they did the some kind, it was some kind of a variety, did some kind of I don't know, I don't know if it was women empowerment event, a TV review or something, but it was through Variety, and they was talking about and the own TV network and the programming. And then it was revealed then that Love and Marriage DC, Love and Marriage Huntsville, and Belle Collective were all renewed by OWN on their unscripted thing. And I think the president of OWN, I think her name is Tony Terry. She said a little speech about the programming and the ratings and stuff. I'm going to put it in a video, but I'm just going to read a little bit part of it, and then I'm going to read what Carlos said. Okay, now I'm going to read you what she said just a little bit. She said, we put a lot of energy and effort into really breaking into the space and doing something special and different for our audience. When you look at the landscape of unscripted programming targeting African American women, we have really served her with love and relationship programming that is fun, reflective of life, but also has a little bit of drama to it, she adds. Growing some of the franchises like Love and Marriage, but remain tight-lipped on the details of the potential spin-offs, and we are looking uh, and we are looking, I would say, at some of our other shows that are really rating strongly. With some spin-offs, opportunities could be more franchises, she says. There's a lot of room for growth in this space. At the center of our programming is our purpose to make sure our audience is reflective and sees themselves in their stories, families, and community in a nuanced and layered way. The success of these shows tells us that we are meeting this goal, and it's deeply gratifying, Perry said of the renewal in a statement. We look forward to continuing our collaborations with Carlos King and Kingdom Reign Entertainment for both Belle Collective and the Love and Marriage franchise, and with Will Packard and Will Packard Media and Lightheart Entertainment for Put a Ring on It. Love and Marriage DC is produced for owned by Kingdom Reign Entertainment with Carlos King and Angela Duggan and Scott Shansky and Brent Nebis and Taran Laffin serving as executive producers. Put a Ring on It is produced by Will Packard and Media. Let me pause this right quick. I had to stop the video because my phone was ringing. I'm just going to read you a little bit of what he had to say, and then I'm going to stop this video. He said, I won't take anything for granted having season renewal of my shows. This is a major honor, and I'm humble. Thankful for the cast, crew, and the viewers. We're back with new seasons. Love and Marriage, DC, Belle Collective, and Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'm glad for Carlos King. I really do like Belle Collective and Love and Marriage DC. I tried to watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, but it's just too chaotic for me. This is A. Wesley. That ain't even tested like a TI is. I am out.